think that the most important thing is to do things for society and for people. In my own career, I could say that clinical engineering, so biomedical, but with work in the hospital, for me was the way to help people. So what I did there is I looked at the management of technology so that people wouldn't get electrocuted, that the machines would work well, the medical devices, that they would do their job, that they wouldn't be dangerous. So that was very important. I did that for about 18 years. And then I decided to be in research and a professor. So when I was a clinical engineer at Notre Dame Hospital, I really wanted to look on electrosurgical burns. To me, this was the most important project because doctors and patients got burns that were very deep, very painful, took a long time, 5, 6 months to heal. And it's strange because in Quebec, I was now the international expert, and several hospitals had burns, and they invited me to be a consultant to say, how can we stop this? And I did find the answer to why they had burns. After that, they didn't have any burns. The problem was solved. I even invented an electrode to be safer, the one that goes on the patient. I got a patent for it, but it never got exploited because the companies were scared to be sued, for burns and stuff. But still, I was proud of doing that. And I think my next project where I was proud of is when I worked on a system. I developed very early on, 1992, artificial intelligence applied to medicine. So I looked at babies in intensive care, and my system, at first, my system worked on adults in intensive care, predicting mortality, those who would die and those who would survive, so that doctors could, maybe do some preventive stuff, medicine there. But with the babies, that was the best project, the neonates. And now my system is going to be tried at some point in time, probably soon, at the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario. And this system predicts not only mortality, but how long the baby will be in intensive care, how long will the baby need respiratory assistance, and also predicts 6 complications before they arise. So I'm very proud of that system. Also, it has a decision-making module for parents. Because if the baby is moribund, say the baby cannot be saved, why put all this, intensive care stuff on the baby, which is painful? So really instead, we have a decision-making tool where parents can understand what's going on, and they can make a decision with the doctor about turning from intensive care to, say, palliative care. And so those are my main things that I've done. The other thing that I think is important in my life is to see young women engineers or not yet engineers and making sure that they really have a wonderful career, that they stop having an imposter syndrome if they do have that, where they don't believe, that they can do it, succeed, and helping them to know how good they are. And some of my students, when they came in, they said, "Oh, I can't do this." But then she was a superstar, my student. She published 35 papers with me in 6 years, 5 years. And now she has a great job in data management, big data and stuff. So I'm very happy about those things. I looked at rheumatoid arthritis. And my camera could tell if the person was in low, medium, or high activity of this arthritis. But we didn't get the grant, so we stopped doing it. But we could really see if the treatment works. And we had a rheumatologist working with us and even an MRI specialist. It was a wonderful project. But sometimes you just have to go with the flow and, don't get the grant, don't do the work. But I did publish over 250 articles, scientific articles, and because we did a lot of work in many, many different areas. So I'm kind of happy about how it went and how I worked. But I don't understand today how I worked so hard, when there was so much energy and collecting, nice teams of students and colleagues and collaborators and making things happen. But sometimes I'm surprised myself at what I did. I wrote a book about ethics in bioengineering, and I'm quite concerned about the negative uses of AI. Like I use it for positive, for developing help for physicians, parents, and babies and adults, to have better care, faster diagnosis, faster treatment. But I know it can be really misused, and I'm very concerned about that. I don't want to use Chat GPT because when I write books, I don't want to be influenced by a system that will tell me how to write my book or to change what I want to do. So I'm not going to use it. I'm going to write my own books. But I think also there's you can manipulate photos and videos and what people say. It's very dangerous. I'm now writing my ninth book, and I have a 10th one planned. And I think that's the two projects I have. Sometimes I think about a word for minutes, like the right word, but it's okay because it comes from me.